Good morning everyone, and welcome to an ice lake in the north part of Sweden. And I am here today on a trip called the Snow Tour, which is just a bunch of mates bringing some slightly stupid cars to the snow for a bit of a hoon. And we've been driving around all week, and I am Bentley have lent myself and James, Mr. JWW, the Bentley Continental V8 Convertible, which I believe this is the first V8 convertible press car in the UK. It's in this interesting sort of gold colour, not really my colour, but that is what it is. I've had a great time in the car, but let's have a little look round, and then I'm going to get in the car and give you my thoughts on the car from this week. It may be a bit disjointed because I'm going to try and do it whilst I'm driving around the ice track. So let's have a look around the car. Okay, having a walk around the car. This is the V8, so it's about 542 horsepower. It's particularly dirty, this one, unfortunately we haven't had time to wash it since cruising all week. But where it's at is indoors, inside the car, and if I just start it up, it'll open up this screen, and we've just got all super plush seats. We've got the air scarf here, heated seats, that when you turn on the heated seats, this heats up, and also here heats up. We've got this diffuser on at the moment, which just really helps keep a bit of air in the cabin. But when you're driving quite fast, and we're in about minus 25, just like 70-ish, you get a really weird vortex in this area that sort of sneaks down here. But considering it's so cold, it does an amazing job of keeping you warm. Let me just jump in the car, have a little look around the cabin. Here we have this sort of adjustable display, so you can flick through the different modes. The car at the moment has some crud on. Oh, there you go. You can see the thermal camera. Thermal camera has been amazing on this trip, spotting people. You can see just there, it's highlighting a person. It spots people and animals and stuff from really far away. This display is this sort of three-sided display. You can have this nice set of clocks and dials and stuff, which actually, when you are in the car and you turn the screen off, this just feels actually really nice. And then you can hold it down and it will flip all the way around the other way, and you can just have bare carbon, and obviously it all lines up here. It's very nice. You've got these push-pull switches, seat heater, seat cooling, air scarf, all of the good stuff. Obviously, take the roof off, and let's go for a drive. We are now inside the Bentley Continental GT V8, and I'm on an ice track. I thought I'd give you my sort of thoughts of this car from over this week, but whilst driving around the ice track. Now, we are currently doing our sighting lap, so I'm going to turn off the traction control, and off we go. I need to take my gloves off. Driving on an ice track is the most fun. Right, let's talk through this car. Steering, well, like most modern cars, the steering you can't really feel it very much. It's an electronic system. Let me just quickly try and work out how to turn down. I managed to turn the aircon off. We've just done a little loop. It's immediately, ice tracks start to get slippy. So we did one lap and it was snowy, and then now it's starting to really get slippy. I love this stuff. It's interesting working with the four-wheel drive. Right, impressions of the Bentley Continental. Initially, when I started, I wasn't very sure about the car. I thought, it's a bit heavy. What's it actually do? It's not a sports car, really. And then over time with this week, I've really grown to like it, and especially in its role as a sort of long distance touring car, which is exactly what it's meant to be. And the more we drove it and the more we used some of the features of this car and just got used to it, the more I've just really grown on me. The engine, so this is the V8, and 1,000%, I have no idea why you would get the W12. You just go for the V8. It's basically the same performance, the car weighs a lot less, and just generally everything is a bit better. I love driving on the snow! And the four-wheel drive system, we're on a winter tyre here, and winter tyres are magical. Some guys have got studs on the track. At the moment it's okay on winters, and four-wheel drive definitely helps because you just sort of get the car turned in and then use the four-wheel drive to keep you going. Work on the old Scandi flick. Right. The problem I've had, and we've got a guy called Frederick here, I think, who's a WRC driver, and I'm going to get some tips and tricks off him. And he does stuff like, he's like putting the front of the car into the snowbank as he's going in to help turn it around and carry more speed, because turning in is the issue. Hopefully later on today I'll have a go in some of the other cars. I had a go in the little A1 Quattro, and it had a manual handbrake, so you can just rip the handbrake, get the oversteer, and then just crack on with it. But right now I'm having a whale of a time. The car is heavy, like really heavy, but oh yeah. Just any car on snow is the best thing ever. So, okay, some of the features of this car. This car has the thermal camera, and initially I thought, this seems a bit silly, but what it does is it comes up on the dash, and when you're driving, so we're driving in the middle of nowhere, and there's loads, well, not loads, but there are animals, like moose or elk or whatever, that sometimes run across the road, and it's probably the number one thing that I'm afraid of when we've been driving across these long distances. It's just something running out, and this camera literally pulls it up like some crazy sci-fi predator thing, and you can see everything. So if there's a group of people, it's getting slippy. So the tech is great for covering distance. The four-wheel drive system, I would say it's amazing generally day to day, and the bias on the track, I would prefer it to be as you can see right now, it's pretty rear-wheel bias. We have a slight. It's not an issue. It's not a real-world problem, but the gearbox likes to shift up, and I would quite like it to not do that. But on the ice, I've got tons and tons of torque. Oh, it's like a little ballet. It is the best thing ever. Exhaust note. You can't really hear it. At the moment I'm in Bentley mode, so I'm going to put it in sport. It's like a little bit louder. I would say actually for most people, this is, unless you want a particularly loud car, this is quite a nice level. It's very refined in terms of when you're on the motorway and stuff like that. Those people on this trip have been super jealous of how luxury our car is. We've got an M2 in front right now, and he has got no grip, so I think we will probably be coming past. Modern convertibles are just the most amazing thing. So we've got the air scarf on, so it blows nice warm air behind your head. Got heated seats. When you press the heated seats, the armrest here heats up, and it's just, and then this armrest as well, and it's just super. It's actually not cold in this car. We did yesterday. We were in the Arctic Circle, -12. We had the roof down, and we were just cruising along. Okay, yeah, we've got our coats on, but other than that, it's with this diffuser up. It's so civilized. Right, let's see if we can get into this corner. And that is the lap of the ice track. You probably didn't get much information from it. Truly, I have really enjoyed this car. It's grown on me massively. And at the beginning of the week, I was like, why did you not just get like an RS6 or something like that? And I think, personally, I probably would get an RS6 or something instead. Because, let's say, the convertible here has not got a lot of luggage space, but as a nice car for covering ground in a certain level of luxury, this really is top-notch. Now it's time to just go for a hoon.